Good afternoon, everyone from Scotland Hill Farms. I decided on this beautiful fall day that I would make some homemade lasagna. So here I am making the ricotta cheese for that, as well as I'm going to make some chili. So what you see me doing is I took about 1.5 gallons of our fresh milk, or about 20 cups. I added 1.5 teaspoons of salt, and I heated that slowly, stirring frequently so it doesn't scorch, to about 185 degrees. It took about 20 minutes to get there. And then I added, it was about 1/4 to 1/2 cup of white vinegar. You can also use lemon juice. And I stirred that for 2 minutes. And then you can see the curds starting to separate. And then at that point, after the 2 minutes, you want to turn off the heat and let that stand for 20 minutes. After 20 minutes, this is what it'll look like. It looks like ricotta cheese with a kind of a yellowish clear fluid around it. I'm going to take it and I put a cheesecloth over a strainer over a big pot, and I'm just straining out all the curds from the whey. Once I'm finished ladling in all the curds in the whey, and the whey is going to go through the cheesecloth, what I did is just kind of loosely gathered the cheesecloth and squeezed some of the moisture out. You don't want all the moisture out, but some of it out. And what I was left with was about 2 cups of homemade delicious ricotta to use in my lasagna, which I'm making here next. So I have 4 pans, small pans, I believe they're 9x9s, disposable ones, and I already made up the sauce ahead of time. So I just made my homemade sauce and put meat in it. A lot of days I do use spinach in my lasagna. I didn't have any on this particular day. So what you see me doing here is just spooning an ample amount of sauce into each pan, because I don't cook the noodles beforehand. So I put a bunch of sauce in the bottom of the pan, and then you can see me here taking the noodles and laying them out in just a single layer. And after that, what I'll do is take the homemade ricotta that you just saw me making. I'm going to sprinkle that in between the layers with another layer of sauce. Again, you want to use quite a bit of sauce because these noodles are not cooked, so they're going to absorb a lot of that liquid, which is what really makes it, I think it just really brings the dish together and makes it good. So I put on more sauce. I spread out the ricotta cheese that we just made. I put in a layer of mozzarella cheese, and then you'll just see that I just layer this over and over again until I get to the top. I put on a little extra sauce on the top and some more mozzarella cheese. I foiled the ones really good, double foiled them, that were going into the freezer. And then we did cook one of these for dinner. And you'll see that at the end. It was delicious. And then I have these meals ready to go. You can pop them in the oven straight from the freezer. It probably takes about an hour and a half to cook if it's frozen. About 45 minutes if you thaw it first, and then pop it in the oven. Now I'm moving on to chopping up a bunch of vegetables that I got fresh from the garden this morning. So I went out and dug a bunch of carrots. I've already washed them up, and I don't find it necessary to peel them for stuff like this. They're organic carrots that I grew, so I just really scrubbed the dirt off, and now I'm just cutting them into pieces. Then I'm going to move on to the celery and do the same on, I don't know, maybe into 1/4 inch chunks. It really doesn't matter. We like celery and carrots in the chili. The chili gives a lot of sweetness. The celery you don't really taste, but it just bulks it up and puts more veggies in it. And then I'm going to take a whole bunch of Roma tomatoes. Actually, I believe they're San Marzano that I grew. And I'm going to wash those up. And I don't peel them or anything. I just stick them in the pot and cook them down. And I am going to throw that all together to make a lovely pot of chili. Not for tonight, but we'll have it later in the week. And prior to this, I did cook up a bunch of beans to put into the chili as well. So here are the carrots and celery that I cut up earlier. I am water sauteing them so that we don't add any extra fat that we don't need in. This gives them a good flavor anyway, just to get them started. And this is a lot of veggies. I'm actually probably going to take about 1/4 to 1/3 of this out, and then I'm going to use it to make some chicken soup, because I have some broth that I cooked down the other day when I did some chicken legs and thighs, and I'm just trying to be a good steward of what I have. So I'm going to put those together with some chicken probably that I canned up and make a chicken soup. Sorry, got interrupted there, but then here are the tomatoes that I cooked down. I did add some extra sauce that I had in the fridge. It wasn't enough for anything else. And then I added some of the tomato paste that I had in a previous video when I cooked down something that I was canning, and I had frozen it. And I added some paste just to give it more flavor. And then here are the beans I cooked up earlier. And then I think I'm going to throw this all together, and I'm actually going to wait until tomorrow to put it all together with the meat. And I'll just stick it in the fridge till then, because I'm tired And then it's a beautiful day outside. And I went outside for about an hour in the garden and pulled out a bunch of stuff. And so here is the lasagna. Just came out of the oven, still actively bubbling. Looks delicious. We'll enjoy that for dinner tonight, along with our last harvest of broccoli, which is getting a little big, but it'll be fine.